Welcome back, everybody. This is another exciting chapter in the saga of Factorio C-Block. This episode number 20. The base is getting huge. Here's the old base. It looks like the medieval quarter of some European city to me, with all the crazy angles and like tight little spaces. And here is the nice modern laid out future base, which is expanding rapidly. This episode, we're going to do things a little bit differently than normal. Instead of me like talking about something and then working on it for a while and doing little clips here and there as I make progress. I've done a ton of work already, and I have the full setup laid out and ready to test, plug in, make sure it works, find the problems, fix them. For aluminium, that's this thing, this spaceship looking thing, which looks pretty cool. As an aside, just a side note, I think it is pretty neat. Like, I'm really liking the aesthetic look of this base. We've got the repeating shapes of the washing plants and this sulfuric acid area and the filtration units and the crystallizers, but then each individual metal has different needs and requirements. They're all special snowflakes, so they all look pretty different. This is silicon, for instance, and this is the aluminium. They look pretty different. This looks like some kind of mining space vessel, and this is definitely a vessel for war. This thing has a gigantic laser beam on it, in the form of 5 salination plants, our new machine for today. So I've got that. We'll go plug it in a second. I've also got, this is the in-bar setup here. We need steel ingots for that. It's our first alloy that we're making with the new system. And so we need a lot of steel. Steel's inefficient, so it takes a lot of space to produce it. And then up here, I've got all of the brass ready to go. Another alloy of copper and zinc. So let's go run around and see what works, what doesn't. You guys have been pointing out some little errors here and there that I've been making, and I've been fixing them. So there were some pipes missing up there with the coolant stuff. I fixed that. There were some assembly, some inserters configured improperly. Fixed that. And what was the other thing? Some belts missing, stuff like that. Placing thousands and thousands of objects. It's hard not to make a little mistake here and there. Okay, I guess we'll leave the car right here. We will plug in Mr. Aluminium and make sure everything works, and then we shall move on to Invar after that. Once we have all these set up, we'll be expanding, moving to some other location for the future base. Okay, here we go. So first step is to plug in this. This pipe should be full. It is. Plug in the mineral sludge. Okay, lovely. They are crystallizing to gibelite and rubite. That's going down the line. This stuff's, we've been using that for a long time. It's getting crushed. Crushed stone as a byproduct going down the belt. By the way, this crushed stone, we're at the moment, we're turning it into landfill, but in the future, I think what we're going to do is we're going to occasionally, wherever I have space, we're going to put a liquefier on the belt here, and we are going to turn this into mineralized water. Then we're going to clarify it just to get rid of it, just to delete it from existence, because I don't need 8 different places to pick up landfill. That's less automation. That gives me more fiddly work, more places to go pick up stuff. And so this is going to be our landfill spot. There's already 150 normal landfill here, and I'll be moving the mud-based landfill here as well. Currently, I've got mud being collected, turned into landfill right there. All the way on the other side, trying not to get motion sickness. Okay, on this side, we're making like 8 different kinds, which is kind of fun. But we'll move all that mud over there, and this is going to be the permanent mud landfill spot. At least until I decide to move it again. Maybe we'll move it closer to the permanent base. Once we move again, all right, what were we doing? Oh, that's right, I was talking about that. All right, so we were making sure all this stuff worked. Got the flotation cells, making the chunks, and also the geodes. Let's make sure that these filter inserters are set up properly. We got purple geodes and the green ones. I guess those are green. There's 2 shades of green. But I have both of them on the filter inserter. And the purple. Same for this guy. Purple. I think that's the right purple. There's 2, so I just put both. Whatever. And those guys are going there. Looks like we've got chunks. The hydro plants are providing purified water for those guys. These guys are full of ore. That's good. So we got to that point. Well, we don't have sodium hydroxide because, oh, that's right, there's a spot for the other thing to plug in besides the mineralized sludge, is we've got to provide water to this guy, the new plant of the day. This is a salination plant, and all it does really is it pumps up the seawater And I guess what it does is it evaporates a lot of the water to concentrate the salt so that it's highly salinated. I'm assuming. Ah, cool little... I like that animation. That's cool. Lovely. I've looked at some other mods for Factorio, and not all mods have such detailed buildings with nice animations. But that's producing salinated water. It's coming here, and it's getting... through electrolysis, it's getting separated into chlorine, hydrogen, and sodium hydroxide. We're getting rid of the sodium, or the chlorine and the hydrogen. Chlorine and hydrogen getting vacated, burned off. Okay, good. Let's go run back around here. Obviously, it's working because we're getting the plates right there. So those are getting combined there and turned into... I guess it'll take a while for these guys to get up and running. And they are going both ways. Good. Okay, now the belt's full. Okay, lovely. This guy... Oh, okay, there is a problem. Okay, we found a problem, Houston. Houston, we have a problem. That guy did not have his inserter set up properly. Let's see if this guy's the same. No, this guy's fine. Okay, fine. So those are getting combined in there and turned into... in the blast furnace here, into alumina. And then another blast furnace with carbon changes that into aluminium ingots. That gets combined, or just that gets transferred into the induction furnace so that it gets melted, basically. I've got 4 inserters, 2 for each one, and these 2 are going diagonally, but they're operating at exactly the same speed because they're both rotating 180 degrees, which is cool. Okay, and then here, this is pretty straightforward. Just plopping out the plates onto the belt. All right, lovely. All of our machines or setups here are operating slightly slower than they should be because we're going to be waiting for speed module 1s for all of these washing plants until we get speed modules going. That is going down the belt. Okay, good. So that seems to be going well. Let's go on to Exhibit B, which is going to be the Invar. For now, we're just storing these guys up, and we'll send them down the belt and do something with them after all this is set up. The Invar requires iron ingots and I think, is it nickel? I think it might be nickel. It looks like nickel. Okay, iron and nickel. Okay, so let's plug them in. Is this the right one? Yeah, that's where it starts. So the process to get steel ingots is very inefficient. Did I say iron before? A second ago? Like 2 seconds ago, literally? No, we want steel ingots and nickel ingots. Steel ingots are fairly inefficient because it takes 3 iron ingots to make 1 steel ingot. And so we need a lot of space to lay all of that out. Okay, stone byproduct going up the line. No flotation cells for this process. Okay, we've got iron ore. This part's fairly straightforward. Process you do. Oh, we don't have any assembly machines. Why are we missing assembly machines? Or not assembly machines, inserters. Oh, okay, they need to be rotated this way. But I don't want you... Wait a second. That's supposed to go there. This is supposed... Oh, I need to... Okay. I know what happened. Okay, so it needs to be facing that way. So that there's nothing in its hand once I reconfigure it. There we go. Okay. Found a massive problem. We need inserters for these guys. Okay, now they're transferring the processed into there, being turned into pellets. Those have inserters, but these don't. Okay, so I must have copied over something, and obviously there were pieces of the puzzle missing. So I'm going to guess there's going to be 2 missing down here as well. There are. Okay, face them that way. Shift right click. Shift left click to transfer the properties. Okay, good. That seems to be working. Let's check each one individually and make sure they're all getting the right stuff. To confirm that the inserters are working properly for each type you are not getting. You just need more. Okay, why did this one stop? We do not have Givelite. Do we not have... There's no mineral sludge. That should be a positive loop if it's rotated around. But one thing I've done recently is I connected all these pipes up so that the system is more... things are spreading all the way down the pipes. Maybe that's an error. There might be something I didn't hook up correctly that's preventing it from rotating around. Looks like we have some of the wastewater. This thing's empty, so nothing's getting burnt off. We just did turn on a huge part of the system, and it's possible it is a positive loop, but I don't know, maybe I need to jumpstart it with more sulfur. I will go back and check it later. But that part seems to be working properly, aside from the mineral sludge bottoming out. Did we ever get any? We did get some ingots, okay. So we can at least test the rest. There's obviously something going on where the loop is not looping. So I'm going to go fiddle with that later. But let's think about the rest of this. And we might not even be able to test this if we don't have mineral sludge. Let's see, yeah, there's none here. Do we have... Yeah, there's some slag slurry sitting there. Oh, you know what? There is, what might be the problem, there is a big flaw in this design, which I have foreseen, and we just haven't addressed yet, in that we're supplying all of these filtration units with this slow-ass yellow belt carrying these guys. And in fact, how far down the line are they making it? At the moment, they're making it all the way down the line, I guess, because we're not... Oh, look where it stops. Exactly where our process started, or stopped. Okay, maybe that's the issue. So this is something I was going to change once we had things laid out. And I had left it with this long belt just to basically to get things set up so that we could test them. All right, so this is... Yeah, you're waiting for coal filters. Okay. So that is an issue. You can see some sporadic action here. So the way we're going to change this to update it is I was waiting because we need a lot of red belts and underground belts, which were expensive. They're less expensive now because we are using a lot of this iron to create more red belts up here. And before, we couldn't make iron fast enough to make that possible. We're going to run a belt of coal down this line. Each one of these sections requires about 1 coal a second. And so with 1 red belt of coal, we can support 26 of these guys, which is a lot. And in the future, when we start using speed modules, we can upgrade that belt further. But just having this belt, even if we upgraded this to a blue belt, carrying the filter frames all the way up and down and waiting to replace them up here, that would not be sufficient. So what we'll do is we're going to put a assembly machine there to create coal filters. Okay, well, I updated the entire base. All these guys are now isolated. They all use their own set of filter frames. They all have their own assembly machine feeding off this belt of coal running down. We're going to have to scale up our coal production. We're going to be using a lot of it, as well as the coke and carbon, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be something else to do in the future. Another thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to put a buffer chest here so that the frames do not remain on the belt, so that these things can always output their frames, and that never becomes a problem where they get clogged. I found another issue where the pipes got crossed somehow when I was like adjusting things and reconfiguring, and there was wastewater in the pipe that required sulfuric acid, which was preventing these guys from operating. And that was why there wasn't slag slurry in a whole set. And now that seems to be fixed. We've got 3 full yellow belts of steel ingots. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go down here. Okay, we can finally fiddle with this guy. This is producing nickel so that we can... Let's see, it's not plugged in. Did I ever plug it in? Not yet. Okay, we're about to. Do we have we have slag slurry. We have mineral sludge. Okay, lovely, delicious. Plug it in. We got all these belts going all different places, and just cross them once and the whole thing breaks down. Not the whole thing, but a lot of it. All right, so these guys, they are not getting the mineral water. Why are you not getting water? The water was never plugged in. I put down, okay, I found a problem. There's your problem. We need water right there, I think. So we put a little water patch. And we say, where are there we go. Boop, and kaboom. There. And that should allow both those to work. Saline's going in there. Okay, now these guys are operating. The wastewater is getting deleted. Good, it's coming down here. Geos are going into there. Perfect. Okay, we're producing. Good. That's producing. It's getting processed, and then that's getting stuck into the chemical furnaces to be turned into nickel cathodes. We are, yeah, that's inputting sulfuric acid again. So I ran the barrels all the way down here. I think we're going to need that once more. We've got a nickel steel to go. Maybe that runs sulfuric acid. Maybe. We'll see. All right, so this side is producing that. Did we stop? We stopped. Why did we stop? We don't have an output. Okay, let's see what happened. We have mineral sludge, so we should be crystallizing. Okay, we don't have crushed ore. Let's just trade. Oh! Ah. Well, there's your problem. Found a problem. Okay, so the line got... I forgot to fix that when I added the barreling pump. So the crushed stone couldn't exit the system. So the line got backed up. This guy couldn't get rid of his crushed stone. Okay, you should be able to output soon. 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 Any day now. Just to check that works. There we go. All right. So it's working. And then this should continue working as that goes through. I guess it's going to take a second for it to catch up. We'll have to address this crushed stone issue. But just to make sure that the system's work is fine, this is a simple fix. We just add liquefiers and liquefy the stuff instead of sending on such a long belt. We could also increase the speed of the belt. We could have them insert into an underground belt. We could balance the belt so they're using both sides. Number of things we can do to fix that. Okay, there we go. Now it seems like it's filtering through. I think these guys had, like, accumulated a lot. All right, anyway. So these guys are coming down here. They're making the nickel. The nickel is getting turned into processed nickel, into a cathode, into an ingot. That is getting combined with our steel ingots into... Well, it should in a second. Okay, here we go. Hey, we're going to have our first Invar coming off the plate. Boom, boom, look at it go. Bam! That's a lot of Invar. We will need a lot of that. Okay, lovely. There's, we'll have to fix the crushed stone issue. But the system seems to be working, aside from that small issue. So let's move on to the brass. And then once that is working, we can update our to-do list. We should be done with the stuff. Everything prior to the... Is it a leaching plant? Will be the next tackle to hurdle. Yeah, leaching plants, which will require acid inputs. That'll be a whole other issue. All right, so here is the brass. We've got a big guy in the center here, which is the zinc. This is the smelting array for the combined of the two ores. And we've got copper ingots coming from the south, boop boop, and from the north, boop boop. We're used. The recipe calls for 3 copper ingots to 1 zinc ingot, but we're getting, because our recipe's better, we get more copper ingots from this process than we get zinc ingots from this, so it almost works out. It's hard to get it exact. All right, let's plug it in. I wonder how our coal production, now that we've plugged in more and more of these things, and we're using up more and more coal and coke and carbon, we're probably going to need to do like a massive overhaul of our. Oh, it's full now. Okay, good. It was struggling for a while, but all of our base is running on 8 of these furnaces creating coal. Yeah, we're going to have to... All of this, we're going to have to scale that up. Okay, let's plug in the last one. One more. Okay, so we went to the bottom, and we've got this guy as well. This guy is already plugged in, obviously, because he's made all those. The catalysts. These guys are crystallized into stereotyte and crotinium. Okay, that's working fantastic. That's getting processed and pelleted. Good. That's getting stuck into the blast furnace to be turned into anodes with the assistance of oxygen, which is being made up here on the left. And we put it in a chemical furnace. Seems to be working fine. We've got lots of ingots getting outputted. For this, oh, by the way, okay, so here's a little tweak I did. Let's run through it. I'll tell you about the tweak in a second. Let's just confirm that everything up here is working properly. This is making bobmonium. This is making givelite. That's being crushed. The belt is the wrong way. Oh, okay, found a problem. I think I copied this recipe from the left side. And I didn't reverse all the belts, because this was the first time we're using the flotation cells on the right side of the base. So let's see, this belt should be going out, that should be going down. Yes. Okay, lovely. So we have to wait for all that stone to get out of the way for these guys to start working, because the stone is cramping up the belt. That's probably the next thing I'm going to do is tackle the stone production, crushed stone, because it's going to be a big issue. You are waiting on bobmonium. What do you mean you're waiting on bobmonium ore? You've got 4 there. Okay, why aren't you putting that on the belt? You've got 4 of it. Oh, the rest. Okay, the filter insert is wrong. Okay, I didn't update the filter inserter. Simple fix. Okay, good. Let's update those then. Okay, we'll shift, right click. They're reversed. Huh, I wonder how that happened. I guess when I set them up, I don't know. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Not important. All right, now we're making these guys. These guys are outputting. And the stone belt. Yeah, this stone belt issue, that's going to be a thing. Once all these things are running full scale, we're going to be producing a stupid amount of crushed stone. That is coming here. Oh, the purified water as well. Okay, we need a pump for that. So let's do that. All right. There. Okay. Now the flotation cells are operational. Let's make sure that we're outputting we're filtering the geodes properly. Purple and red. Purple and red. Purple and red. Okay, good. Let's see. How are you doing? You are waiting for the yellow stuff, the goopity goop. Because why? Why aren't you outputting that? You have 9 givelite. I changed it, right? This is the right one. Oh, does he have something in his hand? He had crushed givelite. The belt is not full, though. Okay, let's just set it up. I'm not sure. Sometimes when it has something in its hand, then it doesn't want to do its jab. Needs to be there. And there. Now it's working. Okay. Okay, and the other side is full, so that's fine. Good. Okay, now they're operational. Okay, running down the line, they're getting added to this guy. Now it's getting the givelite chunks. It's making the ore. That's getting processed. Are both guys getting processed? Yep. What is this guy doing? Okay, that's an old inserter. We don't need that inserter there. This guy's going diagonal style down here. Oh, that's right. These chemical furnaces, they used to be there when I first set it up, and I moved them. Okay, so let's give you that. You're not getting carbon. That's a big deal. Okay, you need to get carbon from that guy. What about the other side? Also needs carbon. Okay, can we run a red belt underneath you? There's already a line here. Yeah, that'll fit. Okay. And in fact, let's do it like that then. And I will delete this one and extend it like that. And a yellow belt is fine. I just need the red belt because it reaches farther. This particular substation is going to get deleted, but for now we'll curve around it. And we'll need a splitter here. Okay, bring carbon to our chemical furnace. I can't walk through that. I can walk through here, though. Okay, and you will need an inserter and an inserter. No, one more space. Pick up that off the ground. Oh, you know what? This is needed as an ingredient, not as a fuel for the... Okay, let's give you a fast inserter. Good. Okay, so those are working, and now we are combining our copper ingots and our zinc ingots, but we're not getting any copper here because of that. Right. Okay, that one's simple. Figured that one out. Okay, those guys can rush in. Good. Okay, now we are waiting on zinc, but we are outputting brass on those two melts. That is good. Let's see what's slowing down the process. Okay, we've got lots of ores here. Why you have 17 ores? This guy cannot output his... Okay, he cannot output his sulfuric acid. I was going to talk about this little tweak I did. And I think what we need is to add some pumps. So this guy, this chemical furnace making the zinc ingots, he's outputting sulfuric acid. And we need sulfuric acid for this chemical furnace to make the copper ingot. So I thought we could use it, which will take a little bit of the strain off of our sulfuric acid barrel line. The problem is that if the pipe is too full, this is what's happening. The pipe's too full, this guy can't get rid of this, and then he stops operating. And to fix that, I did another one of these little pump tricks where I've got a pump here set to read the tank, and if the tank is more than 10K, this pump shuts off. I have that on both sides. What we need to do, we just need to make sure that the sulfuric acid gets out of here, that it doesn't just try to equalize, because that's what all the pipes want to do. They want to share contents until everything's equal. So if I do that on both sides, I think that'll fix it, because it'll still equalize outside of that pump area. And we can let that part share, that's fine. Yeah, I think that worked, because all of a sudden things spring into action, and these tanks will still be getting red to make sure they stay over half before we accept any sulfuric acid from our outside line, just to make it more efficient. Got some random scraps here, but that's all right. Okay, so now this line is no longer... I wonder, I probably can't get rid of that, right? Whatever, we'll just leave it the way it is. Because now, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That is some solid brass. Bam. Okay, where's my car? Stuff is working. We need to scale up things like our coal production. The entire coal stuff needs to be scaled up. And there's little optimizations to be had, but I think we can update our to-do list. Every time I want to come down here to update the to-do list, it's dark. Why does that happen every time? We'll just try to use the car headlights. Okay, so this was the Invar flowchart. And we can take that off the list. Okay, get rid of that. Inventory has space. Our to-do list is shrunk quite a bit. Won't be too much longer before we can just set up like 6 sciences and go to town. We'll have to set up, in a coming episode, we'll have to set up a new area to make circuit boards. That'll be an important thing. We're going to do that down here somewhere after we've set up all the metal stuff. So that was the aluminum I just picked up. Still to do on the left side of the base is Cobalt Steel. On the right side, we've got titanium. And this is nitinol, which is a titanium alloy with zinc, I think, maybe? Or nickel, one of the two. This is titanium. We still have to do that. This is silver and gold. We still have to do that. But we can get rid of the brass. And so what we've done over the last few episodes, we set up all of the layouts that use purely this simple recipe of the crushed ores to sort for a pure ore. And then we set up all the ones that use a combination of this and or the chunks, which we need the flotation cells for. Next coming up is an additional layer of complexity where we're going to have to refine the chunks into crystals for titanium, gold, cobalt, and silver, and uranium. Well, not uranium right now. Eventually uranium for nuclear power, but not for science. And then after that is one step further, which is purified step, which is actually not any more complicated because it just goes directly into a new machine without any further complications in terms of chemicals. But we'll tackle this next episode. We need to set up some production of some acids. We've already got sulfuric acid done, but we need these guys. We need hydrochloric acid, and we need nitric acid. Okay, pick those guys up. Have I been just out of range the whole time? Looks like it. But it's daytime now. That's nice. And pick up that ore sorting facility. Good. Hop in the car. So this is our to-do list now. It's much smaller. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things left. 6 things left for science. And we will accomplish that in upcoming episodes. Looks like we were making brass and then it stopped. Let's just check on it briefly. See what the issue may or may not be. Let's see. What do you got? We're missing zinc again. Oh, you couldn't get rid. Huh. Okay, I understand. Yeah, okay, so the pipes went full again. I probably need some other condition to make sure that empties out. But I'll fiddle with that. That's just like a small logistics detail. The sulfuric acid pipe here is too full to produce more zinc ingots. That is stopping everything. Is everything else full? Yeah, okay, our Christmas scarf to ward our throat from the ravages of winter is growing in scale and complexity. Here is the main bus as it exists now, and it'll get bigger next episode and next episode after that. Hope you guys are enjoying the episodes and the videos and the series, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you next time for Factorio C Block. See you later and bye-bye.